coming to you every Wednesday night. And it's gonna be as wide as it can be, with no apology. And you're gonna love the show. They're all their own wildflowers. Bonnie answers calls and comments on the phone, right alongside best friend Mandy Jones. They'll be talking, laughing, shouting, and shaking their fists. Bonnie and Mandy. Make sure you're always watching, or you could miss it if they ever kiss. Those two wildflowers did what they had to do, and now they're free. And it's gonna be as wide as it can be, with no apology. 7:30 Wednesday night, they're on the air, Wildflowers. And you know you'll love the show on Facebook Live, Wildflowers.
You guys hear us?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're looking live at the Wildflowers. I'm Mandy Jones, and next to me, as always, is the beautiful...
Hi, it's Bonnie Scalisi. How are you, everybody?
Yeah, there was music playing in the back, and I panicked, but we stopped it. Uh-oh. Now it is technical difficulties. We were running late for human error initially, but now it's just technical difficulties. So, share the show. You found the show. Share the show. Oh, no, he's saying no sound.
No sound?
Wait a minute. Guys, no. How about now? How about now?
He says now I have sound.
All right, I just fixed it. God bless.
Yeah, this is, you know what? It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating. It's April 28th. This is the episode 34 of this show. Please share the show. If you could hear the show, share the show.
Share.
All right,
Sharing's caring.
So I don't know if you guys heard the music once or twice or not at all. Or if you heard our voices once or twice or not at all, but we apologize. The show is live and it's messy.
Like life.
Like life. Do you want to tell them what the topic is for tonight?
Yes, this is a topic that everybody could relate to. It's about any roommates you had. And roommates could be family members. Roommates could be college people you shared a dorm with. Roommates could be when you were in your early 20s, or even now if you have a roommate that you share a house with. So I'm sure you have plenty of stories about roommates, and so do we. So we're very excited about this topic.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because it actually just made me think of a girl that I specifically remember got a doctor's note that she could not live with somebody. She got a doctor's note that she needed a single. She was like, yeah, I can't, anxiety.
Oh my God.
Can't live with anybody else. Yeah. She's a lawyer now.
She was made for it.
In other words, the note worked for her, so
yes.
She's pretty smart.
Yes. Should we? Oh, we have some shows coming up, guys.
Yes.
We've got live comedy. So Farrell's Tavern. I'll be at Farrell's Tavern in Ronkonkoma this Saturday, May 1st.
Woo.
Then Bonnie on May 11th will be at the Brokerage. June 4th, Bonnie and I will both be at McGuire's. That's in Bohemia. The tickets are online. Get them now before they sell out. That's with Terry McNeely. And on June 5th, Bonnie and I will both be over at Coasters. That's an all-ladies show.
Yes. We're so excited about all those shows.
Yes. Thank God live comedy is back.
So I want to welcome a couple of the people that are already tuning in, if that's okay.
Yes.
All right. So Bruno was the first one on. So I want to say thank you, Bruno. And sorry, everybody, that we're late. Jennifer Lentini, who I love. How are you, Jennifer? I'm going to be seeing you because Kristen has a show coming up soon that I'm going to be in the audience for. And I wanted to plug it, but I forgot the date. So, Jennifer, if you know the date, type it in, of the Fat Show, okay? And also, David Lange was so nice to say worth the wait. So
Aw.
thank you, David. Lou Prats, who we had on last week, who was amazing. We always love Lou. Robin DeVito, who's our other sister. We love her. And my boyfriend, Michael Steven Spielberg. Nancy Weems is tuning in, and she said, "You're just fashionably late." Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, I love that. That's a very nice way to say it. So should we get to our guest?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, our next guest is a professional tennis instructor, so she's got a kick-ass body. She's a producer and a comedian and our friend, the very funny Esther Forrest.
Hi, guys.
Woo! Welcome, Esther.
I love Esther.
Aw. I wonder though, people ever like, what if someone's not your friend and they're your guest? And when you say, well, we kind of know them, maybe they're nice.
We just don't say they're our friend.
Maybe they're nice. I kind of know them.
That's why I try to keep the things that, like the promos down to just like this person, because if I'm like this hilarious comedian, then I say this funny guy, then
people might get offended, right? They'll be like, "Well, you said I was funny. The other guy was hilarious."
Yeah, like is funny better than hilarious, and this one's
were they very funny or just funny?
Get hurt. Yes.
Yeah, always funny. The very funny. It just gets sticky.
Yeah.
But you are very funny, and you are always funny. And what I love is I never know what you're gonna do on stage.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it fresh.
You always have a completely different act, which most people don't do. A lot of people, they have like a pretty standard set, and then they go in and out.
But it would be boring if you did the same 7 minutes every time. That to me would be boring. But I realize that's traditional comedian advice. They're like, you get your tight 7, you get your tight 10, and then it stops there because they don't ever think anyone's going to go beyond 10. Yeah. Because people in comedy are totally pessimistic. So they never think anyone's going to ever have more than 10. And you just get your tight 7, then you get your tight 10. But that would be boring if you did the same 7 minutes every time to me. But I realize other people, it's more like a calming thing where you're like, well, I know this 7 is good, so I'm just going to stick to it.
Yeah, well, my opinion is, you don't judge anybody. Everybody does whatever they want. And what you like to do is kind of like improvise and go with what you're feeling. And other people feel more comfortable.
Yeah, you do what you've learned.
What they've been working
on.
It's all different, and none of it's better than anything else.
None of it's better than anything else, and we're all going to die anyway.
Right, we're all going
to die anyway, regardless.
But our topic tonight is roommates. So Bruno said every roommate I've ever had turns into a shit show.
Of course.
And you know what? That is very interesting, because I've had some good experiences with roommates and some bad ones. So I guess for everybody it's different. So who wants to start off with a roommate story?
Perhaps that'll be the next idea for a show. We'll be like, bring the 2 roommates on. With Judge Judy.
The roommate bringer.
You have Judge Judy in the middle of 2 roommates.
So you want to start with the tale, Esther? Do you have something?
I have so many.
Oh. You want to go more
Hi, Michelle Astor.
More recent, or more further in the...
I could go further back.
I was going to start with my first roommate, who was my sister.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, yeah.
Funny enough, like with apartments and all, and families and people sharing bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, when I was a little kid, we lived on 52nd Street and First Avenue. Ooh. And I moved at 8 years old to Long Island, but my parents' neighbors had the same apartment we had. It was a 1-bedroom apartment, and they had 2 kids, and they stayed there through their kids being in college. They stayed in a 1-bedroom apartment with essentially 4 adults. I don't know how they managed, but they stayed there. They did not leave. Like everybody else usually leaves for the suburbs once they have like 2 kids and they're kind of big. They're like, we all take up too much space. We're out of here. We're going to the suburbs. But they stayed there for a good amount of time.
That's interesting that you say that. Hi, Peter Najek. Because when I lived in Bayside and I had a co-op, my neighbors who had a wall that was thin, you could hear everything that was going on. They adopted a boy and girl twins, and they only had a two-bedroom apartment. So even though they were brother and sister, they were roommates in the same room well into like I had.
Wait, the brother and the sister who were adults share the room, or the kids?
The parents shared one room,
And the kids shared
the
another.
twins shared another, and well into their teens. And that must have been, I could hear the fighting.
I mean, it would kind of also be weird, like sexually when they're teenagers. It's true. But like, I think my parents, they had like a 1-bedroom, but they were able to convert part of it so it was a 2-bedroom because they put a wall up. Because my mom's uncle was the super there. But then I guess he died and a new super came in. He's like, nope, you got to take the wall down. But that was when they were moving anyway.
So you split it into a 2-bedroom, and what, your sister and you were in one
room?
We
shared one room and my parents shared another because we were able to put a wall up in part of the living room.
What's the age difference with you?
We were at 4 years different.
And she's older?
No, she's younger, and we had like bunk beds. I mean, I think it was cool, but like when you're little kids, you don't know life any different. Like we didn't know, and we were fine. Like,
well, what about you?
No, you can go. You can go.
I had to share a room with my sister. We were in Bayside in a 2-bedroom. It had a dining room. And then my brother, the dining room was converted into a bedroom for him. But my sister, like, couldn't stand me. And, these I don't remember any of it. These are my sister's stories. But according to my sister, she had to go to school the next day. And I didn't have school yet because I was younger. I was 3 years younger. And I would jump on the bed and keep my sister awake. And then she said, when my parents would come in saying, who's making all this racket? I would just pretend I'm sleeping and my sister would be up and she would get in trouble all the time for what I did. So she goes, and I had to get up to go to school tomorrow. She goes, so what I did was I got a big pile of picture books and I sat them next to your bed, and you, instead of jumping and creating havoc, you just started looking at all the books.
Well, that was a good trick, right?
So I think my sister still hates me to this day for that. That's one of her stories.
It's amazing how we hold grudges for so long.
Oh yeah.
Like we remember stuff from like way back. Like, I didn't know. I guess my sister and I were cool with it, but she was only 4 when we moved to the suburbs, and then we each had our own room. I remember I walked on like the balance beam of like the bunk bed. I kind of remember that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we were good. I think we kind of sometimes wanted to share a room when we got to the suburbs. Sometimes we wanted to have our own rooms. Overall, I had the best room because I had the only room with like a view of the water. But that was probably by accident. I don't think it's because they love me anymore. My sister picked out the room because of the closet. Like, it had some kind of a slide in it, I think. So that was why she picked out that room, even though it was tiny.
Huh. But what are your experiences for your family as far as sharing? Did you ever share a room?
Well, I did. I did share a room with my sister growing up, and my sister was very...
And your sister was older.
Yeah, she's 4 years older than me. So, and I'm very, like... I'm OCD, and I was always good at organizing, so my thing was like folding clothes and whatever, and she would be like going to get ready to go out, like 17 years old, and just like literally putting on everything and like throwing everything off of the shelves while she's looking. Like, I hate this, my body, I hate this, I hate that.
That's
and
me.
I'm like literally like battered wife, like
you're like an innocent bystander here.
And I remember, this is ridiculous. So one day, her cell phone, she lost it in the room, and she was freaking out. My mom was like, just take a shower, and like when you come out, we'll have found it already. So me and my mom, she gets in the shower. My mom's like, we have to fucking find this thing. 15-minute shower. We can't fucking find the phone. So my stepdad, he just starts calling the phone while me and my mom, my sister.
That never works because it's always off.
She's on. She's got it on silent. So then finally the next day, my sister finds her. Well, she found the phone. It like went into like a bin that got put away. Whatever. We've ended up finding it. She's got all these voicemails of my stepdad just running the phone while he's trying to find it. And he kept clicking it off whenever it ran to voicemail, but a couple of them were like us fighting and stuff.
Oh my God.
One was just my sister like, ah! And then you hear my mom go, Janelle, shut the fuck up. And my stepdad's like,
That's real family drama, you know?
Because it really is true that, like, when you lose your phone, it's like
Oh, it's
almost the
happened to
end
me
of the
all the
world.
time.
And suddenly you
Absolutely.
have all these grievances.
I've only had a phone
and
for 3 years, and I see the drama. As,
3
as
years?
3 years. I think
That's it?
I had like one of those flip phones before that.
But you've only had the smartphone for 3
I only
years.
had the smartphone for 3 years.
No,
And
but you see that, like, the world is, like, over. When you don't have your phone
yeah.
and you're like,
everything
I hate
in your life
people.
is in the phone now.
I thought I lost my phone the other day, and I
Oh
was
my
like, it better be
God.
at the house. It's gonna be at the house. If it's not at the house, I'm really.
But
pissed.
honestly,
Oh my
like,
God.
Because not even it's like not even not having a phone. It's like your bank information's in
Everything.
there.
it's like you
your-
wouldn't want someone
all
else to
your
find
shit
it.
is in there. Like it's literally just a restart. Like I was like, I am so fucked. I was so mad at myself. And Glenn was like, I didn't see you with it. Like I didn't.
where
see you
was
with
it?
It was back at the house. I didn't grab it. On my
Oh,
way
thank
out.
God.
Thank God. But I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do?
But how long were you without the phone?
It was just the afternoon, but as soon
No,
as
it
I
seems
read,
like a lifetime
But I
now.
had went to we were like running errands, so I was already like shit. Like I've already went to a couple places. Like I don't even know where it would be.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
it was bad.
So I just want to share one. David Lange said all his roommates were military because he was in the military, dorms and tents. Most were pretty good, but we didn't always have a choice. My worst roommate was super religious and kept telling me I was going to hell because I didn't go to church. He read Bible passages to me all the time while I was trying to study for exams. It was awful. He eventually decided to check out of the military. Oh, David, I feel so bad. That's terrible.
David, you are going now.
Nancy Weems goes, I'm probably one of the bad roommates. I doubt that. And Peter Najak was very sweet and said something like, oh, you know, who would say you're a bad roommate to me? Which I was like, are you joking? Is that like supposed to be like a joke? Peter Najak said, I remember what I said to my friend in 1995, which was a normal conversation. I can't remember what I ate yesterday. Yeah, so I have other sibling stories, but I think it's your turn.
Yeah, all right.
Roommate stories.
Roommate stories.
I think we're done with the siblings. Let's go on to roommates that are not family.
I had a college roommate. The first girl
I got a
I
couple
roomed
of college
with.
roommate stories.
I mean, they were all out of their mind. But the first girl was like an insomniac. And
Was she studious?
Yes, of course. She
okay.
was studious. Well, everybody at Stony Brook basically was a grinder. But so
now you have to explain. I don't know what a grinder is.
meaning like everybody worked
party
like
hard
as
and we
so
party.
hard as they could. Like everybody was total grinders. Very like cutthroat there. And she like was an insomniac and she couldn't sleep, but she was trying to. Whereas some people who are insomniacs are like, fuck it, I'll just stay awake and enjoy the night.
Right,
That's
yeah.
me.
To myself. And I think that's the coolest thing. It's like, yeah, nobody's around. You could kind of get things done. You could look up crazy shit. Like, you just be like, fuck it, I'm insomniac, I'm not going to be sleeping. But she was going to try, and she was so intense about trying. And every little thing would bother her. The door opened, that bothered her. You turned the page of the book, that bothered her. Like, every single little thing, because she had to get to sleep. And I didn't know, she was probably like psyching herself out of it. I feel like she could, if she didn't think about it, she'd have fallen asleep.
So did she keep you awake?
No, I didn't hear her at all when I went to sleep. But she was just very, very like, you know, every little thing would bother her when she was trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's me. I hate to say it.
Light sleeper. I'm pretty much, I mean, Glenn would probably beg to differ, but I could pretty much sleep through anything.
Yeah, like some
Really?
people, it doesn't matter. You could hear World War III going on, everything's going on, you don't hear it, but every single little thing she could hear.
Oh, your mom has a story. Mary Underhill said, I stayed with my nanny every year in Rockaway. It was a big beach house with a lot of people stayed at. The owner was a grumpy old man named Mr. Keene. The shower was outside. Oh, my God. It was outside.
Is that legal?
And at the back of the house.
Yeah,
when
that
I
little
would go
beach,
in there, if you were in there more than 2 minutes, he would start banging on the door with his cane, yelling, get out. You're using all the hot water. It terrified the hell out of me. Oh, my God, that's scary. I have a similar story that I think you could relate to. I went to Buffalo University. I hated it there. Which is ironic because that's where my daughter went to college for 4 years and loved it. But I went to a converted dorm that used to be an all-boys dorm that they converted into a girl-boy dorm. And my parents dropped me off, and the shower was what for girls was one long curtain this way, and just the shower heads. So literally, you were showering with
Jail?
like jail. And when I saw that, I started crying,
Oh
and
my
my mom had to leave me at the college, and Buffalo is very far, and it was my first semester there. And she goes, just stick it out for a semester and I'll get you out of there. And so what I did was I showered at like 3, 4 in the morning when
Oh my God.
no other women
That's
would
when
be
you
in
turned
there.
into a vampire. That's when you became a nocturnal
That's probably where it
You
started.
adapted,
I bet
yeah.
you that's where the roots of where it started.
And you haven't seen daylight since.
Oh, Greg DeFlippo. Hi, Greg. How are you? He's from Florida saying hi. Yeah, so Peter's saying, is it legal to have an outside shower? And are there a few on Fire Island? I bet a lot of the guys would love
the
to
guys
watch that.
love that, an outdoor shower.
Well, the outdoor shower is like the little you like shower off after the beach.
Yeah,
Like,
it's something like that. It's not like for
Not
a
supposed
real
to, but-
shower. Yeah.
Keep your breathing suit on.
So do you have any roommate stories from college, Mandy?
Yeah, I've got a couple. So my mom reminded me this one the other day though. So when I first went to college, it was like you go into this. They were like, all right, go to your room, like go to the main room, and we'll start giving out everybody's keys and your stuff to like get into your dorm room. So there's like a line of all these people, and there with like my little like folder, and like I have like some number I guess that associates me with the room. And there's like this.
And what college was this?
It's
Stony
Stony
Brook?
Brook also. So there's like this the cutest, littlest Chinese lady, like like a couple in front of me, and my mom's like, "Oh my God, that must be your roommate! Like, look how cute she is. She's got like a backpack and like literally like just like picture like Chinese avatar, like just literally tarp." And so she gets up to the like. There's like 3 like students that are at like a big table like this that are like, oh, here's your key, like welcome, and like you say your name and they like do like a little song for you. And like they walk up to the table and then they just give the key and the folder to like the girl next to it. That was the mom. And my mom was like, oh wait, that's not the student. And they hand it off to literally the dykiest Chinese girl you've ever seen in your entire life.
And she was the mom of the
Yeah,
of the
and
kid?
she was the mom was
Oh
so
my
cute.
God.
And my mom was like, "Oh wait, that's the ring."
Oh, now I remember the other
She
one.
probably had said 2 words the entire year, and I had 2 Chinese roommates. One spoke Cantonese, and the other one spoke Mandarin. So they couldn't even speak to each other because
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you had a triple.
They had different.
So
dialects.
all 3 of you couldn't speak to each other.
Exactly. They
You just reminded me of another roommate story that I have to write down.
Now I have
were-
one. Now I have a good one.
You go. You go.
So I have a couple. So I was in like a suite, and there were these 2 Chinese girls who lived there, and I guess they would always cook fish, even though you weren't allowed hot pots, and it smelled bad, and I would call them the fish girls. And then
This is why I love Esther.
Then, like, my sister came into the dorm room once to get something, and there was something, like, in the hallway, and she goes, oh, is that belong to the fish girls? I'm like, you can't say that out loud. You cannot. They don't know that we call them the fish
So
girls.
now they have a title that you
The fish girls that they
nickname
probably heard.
that you gave to them.
They might have left after a semester, but yeah, they were called the fish girls. And my sister said that. I was like, you cannot do that because, like,
You can't call them the fish girls.
So
they don't know they're called the fish girls.
well, now they do.
They probably aren't watching.
Fuck. They now will know. No, but
they really
they
were
don't know how.
always cooking weird stuff. The Asians, they really were. They were like boiling like cabbage. It's like it fucking smells horrible.
Well, that reminded me of so I transferred out of Buffalo to Oneonta, and I had 2 roommates at Oneonta. So I'll do one at a time. I'll take one turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm transferring from Buffalo to Oneonta, and Oneonta asks you questions about what kind of roommate you want. I said I'm a non-smoker. You know, I'm pretty like I'm not a partier, and so they matched me with this girl named Miriam. I won't use any last names, but Miriam, when she shared the room with me, she put down that she was a non-smoker, and guess what?
Uh-oh.
She smoked, and I said, why did you put down that you wanted a non-smoking roommate if you smoke?
She didn't want her
Yeah.
parents
And she goes,
to see
because
it.
I don't want other people's smoke on my clothes. And she used to play her music to go to sleep, and you could hear it through the headphones. And I can't get to sleep unless it's absolutely quiet. So I couldn't sleep because of her. And she was always kind of being mean to me. She would like, we would make friends with people and she would put me down. And believe it or not, she was one of the bridesmaids at my wedding. And then my cousins from California, they came in to visit me, and we all went, and Miriam, we all went to Great Adventure, and we're on the car ride. And my cousins from California were like, "Why are you friends with her? She's so mean to you." And it's kind of like a light bulb went off, and I'm like, you know what? You're right. And I ended the friendship after that.
But wait, she was a bridesmaid in the wedding, I thought.
In my first wedding.
Oh, and then it was after the wedding that you're like, you know what? Let's dump this bitch.
Yeah, we all went to Great Adventure, and she was like putting me down in the car. And my cousins from California, they're like the nicest, they're pure, and they're men, and they're like, she is just bashing you. Like, why?
Because sometimes we need like an outside observer
yes,
to realize
yes.
that someone is just not nice to you. Like,
yeah, sometimes you don't see it when you're in it.
Right.
You see it when
you're
others
like, oh,
point it
well,
out.
they're going to just, shit on me or whatever.
So does anybody else out there have any roommate stories? And how are we doing on time? I'm a little confused when we started.
Well, we're at 26 minutes. If you want, should we jump into the ads real quick? And
Yeah,
then we'll,
yeah.
And then we'll get
And
back.
think of your roommate stories while
There's
we are
an ad
doing
for
this.
a roommate.
Yes.
Any roommate stories.
You want to go first, Bon?
Sure, I will go first. So one of our sponsors, we love him, is Keith Fitz and his beautiful wife, Teresa. They are the owners of the business Keys Love Jewelry, stainless steel jewelry, all nickel and tarnish free. Keys cutlery, knives, swords, and self-defense equipment. Excellent quality for reasonable prices. You can shop online, keyslovesjewelry.com, keyscutlery.com, or you could go in person to see them at Lala's Flea Market, 1075 Portion Road in Farmingville, New York. And I have a little something that I wanted to say.
Oh, okay.
Is that Mandy's husband, who we all love, Glenn, I got him a gift certificate that's coming because I'm technologically challenged, but it's going to be a $100 gift certificate to Keys Love Jewelry that he can spend for his birthday.
Oh, that's really
and
nice.
that's to Glenn.
That's very generous.
I think the world of Glenn.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, see.
That's really nice. And give it back to the sponsors. He's gonna have fun on that one.
And they have great stuff.
Yes.
And our other sponsor is amazing too.
And then we also have Ambient Salon in Hewlett. They are a full-service hair, skin, and nail salon. They partake in what's called a Mondays at the Racine Salon, which means they offer free salon, spa, and free wigs to anybody currently battling cancer. That's one Monday a month they do that. So please check them out at theambientsalon.com to find out about a Mondays at Racine, where they offer free salon, spa, and free wigs. You can also do online booking there. Give them a follow at the Ambient Salon. They're on Facebook and Instagram as that. They're at 1344 Broadway in Hewlett, New York. You can reach them at 516-295-4011. Please don't forget to tell them that Bonnie and Mandy sent you.
And everybody, please share the show right now.
Yeah.
If you are still tuning in and you haven't checked out on us, please press the share button and share the show.
If you haven't checked out, maybe now's your time.
So we're back to roommate stories. So Esther, do you have another roommate story? Go ahead.
Where was the one?
It could be college. It could be now. It could be whatever you.
It's kind of a roommate story. So, back, like, I had a roommate, and I guess she was kind of like, she was bisexual. She was in an open relationship. She was kind of just exploring, trying to do it all.
This was not college. This was.
It was college.
Oh, it was college.
She was trying to do everything she could, and I guess she was with this guy, that she kind of broke up with him, but they were still kind of together. It was hard to understand, but he thought, I think, that they were still together, but she's like, but I'm still going to see other people. So, but I guess he kind of thought it wasn't ever going to happen, that she would see other people, so that's why he agreed to it. So,
Sure.
Yeah, so he's like, sure, see other people, but he's like, who are you really gonna meet? I guess was
Your
his
dreams.
thought process.
Oh my god.
And so then like we threw this party, I think.
Ooh.
Because why not? And in our dorm
We're all
room,
gonna die soon, so throw the fucking party.
Exactly. And like in our dorm room, it was sort of like the policy was if you have a party, just let your neighbors know. Like it was
Right,
more
right.
relaxed. Like just knock at your neighbor's door and be like, we're having a party. If you want to come, come. And if you don't want to come, just either put your
Don't
headphones
report us
on.
to the police.
Sounds
Right.
or-
Either put your headphones on
Yeah.
or, go suck on an egg. And so we had this party and a bunch of people came. And then I guess she decided that night was when she was going to explore. So also we used like our room for people to put their coats in, I think. And me and our room.
Oh, okay.
And
You guys were in like the
There was
living
a
room part
common
of it?
room. Yeah,
Okay.
there was a big common room and there were three double rooms.
Okay.
So we used our dorm room to like put everybody's coats in. Everybody put their coats in our room. And then we were partying it up
Sounds
in
fun.
the common room. I know, right? What happened? And so we're partying it up in the common room. And then she decides that night is when she's really going to explore her sexuality. And she starts bringing this other girl, not her boyfriend, obviously, into the room and starts hooking up with her. And my sister
In the public room?
in
or
the
party?
in the
Coat room.
in the coat
Oh,
room,
in the
double
all right,
room.
so it was private.
Okay.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
you still had your roommate, but she's gonna hook up with this girl.
So how did you know about it though?
Okay, so and my sister actually decided she was gonna come to this party, even though she's in high school. She's cool with coming to a college party. And then my sister was getting ready to leave, and she had to get her coat, and they they put the coat like over them to cover her needs out in case like I came in and saw them and saw what they were doing.
Oh my
And
God.
so my sister saw them.
So your sister caught them.
My sister
In the
caught
act.
them in the act because she needed her coat and they were using
Oh my
the
God.
coat to cover.
Didn't they think like people are gonna leave soon and they might need their coat and collar?
No!
What is
I know,
wrong
right?
with people?
Um,
I just want to say hi to Gina Conjemi Coffin. Hi, it's great to see you tuning in. I have a lot of roommate stories, but I'm going to let you go next.
okay. Well, I consider the guys that Glenn lived with in college like my roommates.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
I was there basically.
You were
every
there a
day,
lot,
like,
so why
playing
not?
Mother.
Yep. So
Um,
you would visit Glenn, so Glenn's roommates were your roommates.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So the one kid, I'm not going to say his name because someone might track him down for this, but he had a very particular, like a very unique name, and he worked at Cadillac
Ooh.
for one summer, and he had this client that he really didn't like, and he sold him a car, but right before he sold him the car, he rubbed his nutsack all over.
Oh my God.
Literally, like, pulled his pants down, put his nuts, like, all over the,
I
like,
knew that happened with food, but I never thought it would happen with a
He
car.
was like, I put my nutsack all over his car. We're like, how? He's like, dude, the fucking dashboard, where you grab the hand. This is pre-COVID.
That's
guys.
hilarious.
That was.
Oh
he
my
was like,
God.
I know that it happened.
That's a great story.
So
So
yeah, those are the kind of people that I lived with.
Yeah.
So I sleep with one eye open.
no, that's funny because you never know what happens when you piss somebody
Yeah,
off.
you don't know where
Don't-
balls
don't-
have been
don't-
on your
you know,
steering wheel.
Be careful. So Nancy Weems said, we have a party invite next door neighbor who's a bartender. So the bar was on their back porch and the food and entertainment on ours.
Nice.
That sounds nice, Nancy.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. So getting back to college roommates, back to Buffalo. Before I transferred, I had the shower situation, which was very horrible. And my roommate, her name was Missy. She was from Syracuse. I still remember. I could picture her like to the T. I won't use her last name. And she was an anti-Semite. Am I saying it right?
Anti-Semite.
Anti-Semite. She hated Jews. And she didn't know I was Jewish at first until a friend of mine who convinced me to go to Buffalo, who was my best friend from when I was a little kid, she's like, Bonnie, come to Buffalo, it's because I was a transfer student.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, okay, I'll transfer to Buffalo. And this girl, Missy, had a boyfriend, and she had this thing where she put a scrunchie over the doorknob.
Yeah, everybody had that.
She's with her boyfriend. So almost every night, even though I'm paying the tuition, my parents are paying tuition,
just as much.
I could sleep in the room because her boyfriend was always there. And plus she hated Jews, and she hated my girlfriend at the time, who was very jappy. She was jappy. I'm not going to say she wasn't. And the ironic part is that my friend who was jappy, who was my best friend growing up, all of her friends who were jappy hated me. The new transfer student, they didn't accept me. Like her friends, one of them was the daughter of a gynecologist, very rich. Another one was like, they were all very rich. They all had the best clothes. And my friend Gail, I'm not going to say her last name, but she kept trying to get me to be accepted by this clique, and they hated me. And when we would go to a bar, the men in the bar would be attracted to me, and with all their fancy
and they're like,
clothes.
well, damn, our money can't get the man's attention.
No, they were attractive women. They were pretty. They had the latest styles. And my friend said to me, why are the men coming up to you?
Yeah.
Why? And I said, you know why they're coming up to me? Because all of your friends have a puss on their face.
It's true.
They have a very arrogant attitude. And I have a smile on my face. And I am more approachable.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, everything is it could be about that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So her friends never accepted me. So I had the shower. I had the
Missy.
anti-Semitic roommate.
Sounds like the best.
I had my best friend who was part of this group whose friends didn't accept me. So I got the hell out of there and I went to Oneonta. And I loved that school. So I highly recommend Oneonta if you're going to go to college.
But the funny thing about college is that, you have a lot of people who are Jewish and they're from an area that's predominantly Jewish.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have people who go to college from, especially when you take New York State and you take downstate area, which there's a lot of Jewish clusters within the downstate area.
It seemed like
and you take the
all
upstate
Jews
area.
went up.
But where it's like these Jews, so everybody lives on Long Island, but somehow they think, I want to go to the other part of the state for 4 years to never return again, probably. They don't plan on ever coming back, but that a lot of upstaters have never met a Jew in their entire life. And it's not really, it's like ignorance, but it's like also weird that like these people will go to somewhere for 4 years, like Binghamton, Buffalo, Oneonta, all the upstate colleges, only that they never plan.
Mostly Jews.
And they never plan on returning. I don't think any Jews are like, let me just settle in Oneonta, New York, and I'm going to build a family. But if you take an upstater,
all of Long Island
transplants itself
went up there to
upstate
college.
New York, to all these upstate colleges.
Yeah.
And then you take an upstater that goes to one of the upstate colleges, and I don't know that they've ever met a Jew. If you're from random
They didn't
town,
like us.
Yeah, you're
I'm
from
telling
random
you,
town,
they didn't like
upstate
us.
New York. You might never have met a Jew, so you might not know what to say.
Well, my sister went to Albany, and her roommate thought Jews had horns, which was really interesting.
And I mean the townie, like the people who live in the town in these upstate towns, they're probably like, who are all these people that came here?
Yeah, we're like the invaders. Robin DeVito goes, I'm trying to curse. Why won't it post?
Oh my God.
Don't do
Facebook
that.
is stopping you. So
I mean, a lot of them will go to Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana. Again, I don't think they plan on staying there. They're going to go 4 years only to return to New York.
yeah, we all end up settling in New York at some of that.
I don't even know what's wrong with people that they're like.
This show's going to be taken off the air for I don't know.
I don't
Who
know
knows?
what's wrong with people that they return to New York. Why we all do this to ourselves? We return to the most expensive place in the country because
Well, everybody's leaving now. But
I mean, now everybody's leaving because it's like,
a lot of people I know are leaving. Robin DeVito says, okay, so I'll just say it. I knew Gail and Misty. They were bitches.
How did she know
Gail
them?
and Misty.
Those are your roommates.
Oh! So, that's funny, Robin. You did not know them. Gina Kademi Coffin says, true upstaters do not like us downstate people. They don't like us. So, Mandy, it's your turn.
Okay, when I was in college, we were in corridor style rooms in the beginning where like it was just two or three girls in a room, and then your bathroom was at the end of the hall. And so on like Thursday nights or Friday nights, like when we would be getting ready to go out, like sometimes you go in there and like literally all 6 showers are going. And it would be like, I'd be like trying to get ready to go out. So like if I went in there and like 15 minutes later they were all still packed, I would literally open the window so that people were like, oh my God, it's cold. Let me get out of the shower.
But the showers are separated. You have privacy, right?
You have privacy.
Not a communal shower where everyone gets into one big shower.
It was like a dressing room. Like how, so you have a stall, but
like a locker room style,
exactly, yeah. So I'm definitely going to hell for that one.
Well, this is a funny story. So I transferred to Oneonta. I had that roommate with the smoking. And then the next year, I said, let me go get a different roommate because I can't stand smoke. It's just, I just can't stand it.
Yeah, I'm not like that either.
So I got a roommate who I didn't know at all. And she was in her I think she was like 28.
Yeah, she started college late.
And she was in college at Oneonta. She was a military person. Very, very butch and very big. And so I was on the floor of Oneonta and there were these practical jokers. And they were terrible with their practical jokes. They literally, the girls down the hall had a room, and when they were out to lunch or dinner, whatever it was, they took their entire room. You know how there's a common room? They took their entire room, including their beds, their posters, everything about their room, and they put it in the common room, and their room was empty when they returned. And they were so pissed, okay? So then they came and they tried to play a practical joke on me. And I said to them, okay, I don't even remember this person's name, which is so horrible. But my roommate was actually a benefit to me because she didn't take shit. And I said, oh, I remember what they did. They came into my room. They took all my sanitary napkins that were, the stickums.
Yeah.
And they put them all over the wall.
Oh my
they
God.
stuck them all over the wall, and they
Wow.
They did all kinds of crazy shit to our room. And I said, that's fine. When so-and-so gets back, I'm going to tell her you guys did that. The look on their face of terror. And then they took every sanitary napkin down. They cleaned the room, and I was a plus to have a military roommate who didn't take shit.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm not going to let them.
Okay, so Esther, it's your turn.
Okay. Can it be past college? Let's see.
Absolutely.
I mean, there were a couple. So I had this one roommate actually. Wait, I'm trying to think of something good about. Okay, so I rented this room on like the Upper West Side. It was on 95th between Amsterdam and Columbus. And it was a total steal. It was like $100 a week, which is a real steal for that area. And the area was really, the woman I think bought the apartment before the area got trendy. So I think she got another apartment for herself. So I think she was just looking for like a little bit of money to kind of keep up with the maintenance payments. I don't think she was like all the landlords who are just looking to like make a profit. Like, I don't think she was like that. So I had like this tiny room, but it was a room. And her brother though lived there. And he was like a total drunk, and he didn't speak English, and he would be like, crazy. And he was always just drinking. And then he'd randomly say random phrases to me. And I couldn't work the keys, and I didn't know how to work lots of stuff, but he was totally like useless. And then finally he'd be like, I show you now, or something. And he'd finally like help me. And I think he was maybe pretending not to know English. I don't know what is he. I show you now. Or he'd say, crazy. And my friend had lived there before, but he thought I was like his sister. He's like, are you Jason's sister? I said, no.
Oh my God.
But again, it was really cheap. So that it was good because of that. And then randomly, like one day, he started to grab me and try to make out with me.
God.
And this is someone who
This is
said,
your roommate?
yes, and he barely said like 2 words to me.
my
Because again, he
God.
just know you know crazy and fine, I show you how. And those are his 2 phrases.
Let me show you
And he was
Frank's
just
now.
drunk all the
That's
time.
his line that he uses on women.
Let me show you now. Oh my
Michelle
God.
Asta says, "I love roommates as long as they aren't mine." Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I did have a great roommate. When I graduated from high school, I dormed at Farmingdale.
Okay.
It was only a 2-year school. At that time, you had to transfer somewhere else. And she was a African American girl named Terry, a girl, and I loved her. She was the best, and she was so kind. And I remember one time there was a spider in our room, and both of us are terrified of spiders. So it's this little dorm room at Farmingdale, and I had Raid, and I took the Raid, and I was spraying the spider like it was like a tarantula, and the both of us were like gagging from the Raid. But she was the best roommate ever. She was kind. She was sweet. I loved her. I unfortunately lost touch with her, but she's one of the positive roommates that I had that I had a great experience with.
I mean, if someone is never there, they're great
No,
as a
she
roommate.
was there. And
Like,
we
if someone's
got
never
along.
there
We
and they
got
never
along.
talk to you, they're the best
She
kind.
was a wonderful person. We got along. Everything about her, I thought she was amazing. And I transferred to another school upstate. We lost touch, but I loved her.
So you went to Farmingdale first, then Buffalo, then
because
Oneonta.
I was so immature that I didn't want to go away to college, and my parents were trying. I got accepted to FIT, which is in Manhattan. I got accepted to Delaware, and I didn't want to go away. I was too immature. So my parents are like, okay, you go to Farmingdale. You literally, the first year I just went back and forth in my car, and the second year they're like, you're going to dorm so you get used to understanding what it's like to be away.
Yeah, to be on your own, but you're
Like,
still
I was
pretty
a very
close
immature
by.
person. I'm still immature, but they kind of groomed me. And then they sent me to Buffalo, and I fell apart.
And then you did 1 year at Oneonta.
No, I did half a semester at Buffalo.
Oh, wow.
And then I went to Oneonta, and I'll finish with, if we have time, the last part. But it's Mandy's turn, so I'm going to let Mandy talk about hers. Gina Kajemikov said, I never had a roommate. What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh my God, Gina, you've got to be kidding me. Well, I guess that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Alan Streifeld said, I had a coffee mate once. That's funny, Alan. That's really funny.
Okay.
So it's your turn.
All right. So my buddy, he worked over the summer. He worked for like a company that like they were mixing chemicals. So he had brought back to the room a 55-gallon drum. He's like, oh, we'll use this for garbage, because they only had like a little garbage, like literally just like a bathroom garbage in the main room. So the boys would eat their lunch, and literally you have a pizza box, like literally all this food. So they would, instead of having to go to the dumpster with the little garbage all the time, he's like, all right, I'm going to bring a 55-gallon drum, and we'll fill this thing with garbage, so we only have to go like once a week. Little does he fucking think or know that you just have a giant rotting thing of
it just rots and starts smelling.
Disgusting. So everyone was like, Tommy, get your fucking disgusting garbage out of here. Like, your garbage is gross, dude. So he takes the garbage out of it, and then he goes, oh, I'm going to rinse it. So he brings...
Rinse the garbage? Oh, my God.
Rinse the 55-gallon drum. So he brings the thing into the shower with him.
Was he a chemist?
And he just starts running the fucking shower like he's going to fill it up to rinse this thing. Not realizing a 55-gallon drum, how heavy it is once it's full of water. So he goes, all right, I'm going to just dump it out a little bit. He goes to let it go and jump a little bit, and it's so heavy, like he loses grip of it. It falls into the tub, and they only had this little tub for the shower. It was just a little bar that kept the water in. It wasn't a full tub of... So literally a tidal wave goes out of the shower into the room. They had to have maintenance guys come in with cans.
Oh my
and,
God.
Water back.
I'm watching Breaking Bad. This sounds like an episode of Breaking Bad.
But we had blood in the room. I was like, what happened? He was like, Tommy tried to clean out his 55-gallon drum. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you fucking started filling it up with water, and then it got away from him. Because
Oh my
55-gallon drum of water is so heavy.
Whoa.
So don't fill your garbage up with that.
Yeah,
All right,
that's not
I thought
a
of
good idea.
I thought of the one. I can't believe I almost left this one out because it's the only one. So I also roomed with this guy called the Birdman.
Oh, you had
and
not the Birdman from Coasters.
No.
Oh, okay.
And so he also it was really cheap.
More than one Birdman.
It was like $100 a week. Everybody warning, if it's only $100 a week, don't do it. Just don't say yes to it.
That's
not good.
Right. There's something
Make it
wrong
at
with
least
that.
$200 a week if you're gonna make it sure it's at least $200 a week. So this guy, the Birdman, so he slept in the living room. And he had one bedroom dedicated to his birds.
Oh my God.
And they were like,
That's what
feet
they
of
call
them.
the Birdman.
Yes, and he had also he liked the Pirates, I guess.
Okay.
The Pittsburgh Pirates, right?
Okay.
And so not only did his TV have to be tuned in, all TVs had to be tuned into the Pirates game.
Oh my God.
And so, I don't know, I guess he was a little weird, but I felt bad for him because his father had died, and I think he had lived in the house with his father.
Okay.
And then his father died, so he's like, shit, how am I going to pay the rent? So that's how he got a roommate. And then I guess, I felt bad. And then, he told me, that he got kicked out of a bereavement support group. I was like, wait, how? You can't just get kicked out of the bereavement support group. It's supposed to, there's no such thing as being, and he then said that he was the vomit guy on Howard Stern.
I've heard of that.
And he's like, I let the people vomit on me so I could get on TV. And some people I know that watched Howard Stern remembered the guy.
It sounds familiar. I used to listen to Stern years ago. But
so he was a vomit guy. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? Obviously. And then he was telling me about his girlfriend. And his girlfriend lived in the psych ward. And he was trying to sneak her out of the psych ward or go and visit her in the psych ward. And I was like, I still remember, but I was like, if he has a girlfriend, there must be some for everyone.
There's a lid for every pot. There you go.
Obviously,
that's
if
the
that
proof of
guy has a girlfriend. And so then I think is, the big highlight was that his psychiatrist called me.
Oh my God. Check on him?
I don't know. And then he's like,
Was she interviewing you?
No, and he pretended he wanted tennis lessons.
Oh my God.
Seth Farber.
That's the way they get to Esther.
Wait, when they're lying, when the doctor's lying.
I know, right? A psychiatrist, and he's like, I want to talk to you. I want tennis lessons. I was like, I don't think. And then he starts talking. He's like, I really, Jeff really want. And I guess I was gonna leave. And he's like, Jeff, which was the guy's name, really likes you. He really wants you to stay. I was like, listen, you do not. And and he's like this guy, and I looked him up, where he's virulently against any kind of medication, and he's sort of like this radical. That's who this guy goes. So he's this kind of radical psychiatrist, and he had called me and stuff. I was like, listen, I don't want to talk to you, dude. And so then I think I just moved out. I was like, you know what? This is enough of this. And then he would keep calling me, and he'd be like, and you're the best roommate ever. Can't you come back? And then later, a few years later, he friended me on Facebook. But he friended me 10 different times. He's pretty sure the guy had to keep setting up his Facebook account and again. He's like, now, did I do it, or do I have to do a new? I keep getting friend requests from the dude, but.
And you ignore them?
Oh, no, I think I accepted him. He never posts anything. Again, he had to keep creating new accounts because he can't work Facebook.
Well, Marsha Fitzpatrick shared our show from Indiana, and she's laughing.
Do we know her?
She said it's too funny. We don't know her personally, but thank you, Marsha, for sharing the show. And I don't know how we're doing on time.
Yeah, we got 6 minutes, so I think we got a story or
Nancy
two each.
Weems is laughing her ass off. Thank you, Nancy. And you want to go next?
Yeah, Glenn reminded me of this today, and I don't know if I've actually seen this or I've just heard it so many times that now I have a vision of it in my head.
Uh-oh.
He used to.
It's
he
his
used to-
memory,
no,
not yours.
He used to room with a guy who would wear tighty whities. So you know what those are, the little.
Yeah.
But he would be just in those, and he would put his legs behind his head.
What?
What?
That was Glenn's roommate?
Yes, he was randomly
Glenn, come on the camera right now. Stick your head in here.
Glenn could confirm that.
I'm not going to come on camera.
Oh,
He
too
could
bad.
The kid would rest his foot on his face.
Oh yeah, like this.
Oh my
with the
God.
foot.
That sounds like a circus
What was
freak.
that, the World of Warcraft?
Oh yeah, wow. He'd play World of Warcraft, and he had spunk. Like I thought there was something a little off with him, but he stood up to Glenn a couple of times, so he could take
Even
it.
though he wrapped his legs around his head, he was still a force to be reckoned with.
He was still a regular guy.
I love that story. All right, so I have a roommate story. I always loved the English accent. I always loved the Beatles. And so when I was at Oneonta, there was something you could apply to do your student teaching in England.
Ooh.
And they only accepted 12 people out of all the people that applied, and they accepted me. So I went to England to do my student teaching, and I roomed with 12 other, well, I was the 12th, so 11 other women, college girls who we were all in a mansion in Bishop Stortford, which is like Long Island is to
London.
New York. It was like a suburb of London.
Okay.
And the roommates were all like in little cliques, and the mansion didn't believe in locking the door. So at the same time that we were hosts of the mansion, England had like a plumbing convention. They had other kinds of things going on. And at one point, this man enters our room.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And starts getting into bed with one of my friends.
Oh my
And we
God.
all got out of our beds and started feeding him with the pillows.
I love he wasn't worse off. Is he just like, I'm in the wrong room? He just left?
Oh, yeah. He got out of there and left. But, we all as roommates bonded, even though we had very many differences between us.
Bonded over that.
This guy just came into the room and got into this girl's bed. She started screaming. And we all got out of our beds and took our pillows and started like kicking him, hitting him with the pillows. And the guy ran out of the room. I'll never forget it. It was crazy.
That
Damn.
is crazy.
Yeah, and it's a true story. I mean, all my stories are true. I wouldn't tell you them if they weren't true.
Esther, you have any last?
Yeah, so the
Do you
Citadel
want to
one.
plug anything before?
No, the Citadel is the other thing, and it's only a temporary roommate that we had for like a week.
Okay.
So we took spring break trips for college tennis, and one year I guess they forgot to budget out the trip they forgot to budget in the hotel. So they're like, so I guess my coach was buddies with the guy at the Citadel, so he's like, we'll put you up in our dorms, in our barracks. So we're like, well, I guess we have no choice. And then like we were in like this special dorm, and like there was this guy staying there, but apparently he was like in detention because he raped someone.
Oh my
Uh-huh.
God.
I was like, why are we with him? Like, we're women and you put us with the guy and he raped someone and he's in the next room. And like, so we were supposed to have 3 rooms, but then we had 2. So all 6 girls had to stay in one room. And then like 2 of the girls were dating guys from the guys team. So it was really 8 people in one room. It was totally the worst experience. Like, by the end, I was like, get me out of here. Like, it was just like the worst. But actually, he was quite nice. I must say, the guy did not seem like a bad person. He was like the one highlight of the trip. I think this was the one. Yeah, and we stopped off, though, on the way to Charleston. We stopped, that's where the Citadel is. We stopped off in Virginia because you're not going to go the whole way. And then, like, this hot guy on the tennis team that I really wanted to hook up with, like, I didn't understand what was going on because he's like, are there any spare beds in your room? And I didn't even answer. And they're like, he wants to hook up with you. I'm like, why didn't you guys tell me that beforehand?
Spare beds. No, I'm using my bed.
Yeah, like, what does that really mean? Like, what you wanted? Like, I didn't know. And then they told me that the girls, like, is that like a Scandinavian code or something? Like, because he was Norwegian and they were Danish. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, thank you, everybody. Everybody, if you didn't share the show, please share the show. We're just three people here. We need your help. Share the show. Thank you, Esther. We love you.
Oh, this was so fun, guys.
You're our friend, and we're so thankful that you came on. And Mandy, you want to say anything?
No, that's it, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Tune in next week. I have no idea who's on.
Nice.
Mandy maybe knows.
What do we got? No, Cinco de Mayo. So we have we're gonna have Keep It and his wife Teresa.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That's gonna be
I can't
fun.
wait for
Nice.
that. She's the organizer and the brains behind the operation. So thank you, Mandy.
Aw,
thank you,
Bonnie.
Esther. Love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.